when King gave the speech during the March on Washington in '63, before that point, the Kennedy administration had been really reluctant to really get behind the civil rights movement and really provide, the kind of government support that was needed. Kennedy had given a speech in the summer before then where he talked about inequality, and even that was only in light of the Birmingham marches and the what was unfolding on people's televisions at night. And his message to the civil rights activists was, okay, wait till my next administration, wait till I get reelected. And so that was part of King's message was, okay, we've waited long enough. There's no reason to wait. And King knew, as did other members of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and other organizations, that in the wake of the Birmingham marches and the kind of footage that was on TV, shown in the nightly news at night, police dogs attacking young children and really disturbing images of the worst aspects of racism, they knew the timing was right. And so that's why, that march was important, and getting a lot of people to that march was important, getting people people who were black, people who were white, and the labor movement got a lot of white people there from all over the country. They knew they had to get large numbers, and they got the large numbers. And then, of course, there was great pressure on King because, he's delivering the main address. And so really, he definitely appreciated that pressure. He knew what was at stake. And that's why when he started giving the speech, and it was kind of a standard speech that he might give to a group of politicians or something like that. I mean, it wasn't the kind of speech that he would do if he was say in an African American church or something like that. So he starts out right, and he's kind of sensing what the response is from the audience, from the crowd, and it's at a certain point, really about halfway through what he planned to do, he realizes, okay, I got to change course here a little, and he starts bringing in information that he had used in his more inspirational speeches in front of smaller groups, like in churches. Like he had used a lot of that in a speech in Detroit, I think it was, just before that. So a lot of the great aspects of that speech, the latter part of it, what we really think of the I Have a Dream speech, the really inspiring kind of language at the end about his children and about looking at a vision of the future, and that is one that isn't segregated, one that's real equality. It wasn't as if he hadn't talked about those things before, but he hadn't really planned to do that. And so again, he sort of appreciated the moment. And then after it was over, King and others were invited to the White House, and Kennedy said, Kennedy had never seen King speak live before. He'd seen clips of him, and he wasn't there at the mall, but he was watching on television at the White House. And he said, "Wow, he's damn good," right? Just remarked that to his aides. And then he met with leaders of the SCLC and other organizations that were there, and a lot of people have seen the images of that meeting. And from that point on, the administration had no choice. They were fully committed, really, that speech more than anything else, which was seen not on prime time, but seen by lots and lots of people, millions of people around the country. That really helped to push the administration to commit themselves to a Civil Rights Act. It wasn't passed before Kennedy was assassinated. Of course, he's going to be assassinated just 3 months after that speech. But Johnson is going to be able to usher that through in 1964, the next year. And would that have happened without the March on Washington? Would that have happened without the I Have a Dream speech? I don't think so. I mean, not that the timing of it was that important. And then it became such an important symbol of the movement for so long. And King became such an iconic figure. He was Time Magazine Man of the Year in '63 after delivering that speech, and other things, of course, that he had done in writing the letter from a Birmingham jail, and just his general leadership of the movement earned him that. But after that point, he had such credibility in so many places that, at least before his death, and really after, it was able to,
at least have an impact on carrying the movement forward at that time. And again, there was there's so many unfulfilled promises still, linked to the comments in the speech or just in general. But nonetheless, I think people not just of my generation who consider the speech awesome, but I think later generations too. I mean, I think, I always showed in my classes, you have to see it. I mean, everyone needs to see the speech. They need to appreciate why people responded to it, and you can only do that when you actually hear it. Okay, you can redirect anything else if you want on that. But.